From the incredible imagination of Jim Henson and director Nicholas Roeg comes a fascinating new fantasy adventure. The Witches. For when a little boy accidentally stumbles into their secret world, he finds they've got a lot more power than he ever imagined.
Grandma, it's me, Luke. Luke. They turned me into a mouse.
Oh, my.
Who's the Grand High Witch?
Join Luke on his remarkable journey.
Bye.
Now, the witches are on his tail,
Whoa.
and he must scurry around their evil plots, squeak past every danger. Finally setting the trap that will save the world from the witches.
You are in for a treat.
We must stop them.
A little boy gets turned into a mouse, and then they're like, you now have the natural lifespan of a mouse, so you're gonna die in like a couple of years. But then he's like, that's perfect because my like mother figure is my grandmother, and so we'll die at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And that's just how it ends. And he never gets turned back into a little boy.
That is dark.
Well, hello, and good existence to everyone out there in this ever-expanding universe. You have been fortunate enough to be chosen to participate in this new Millennium's punk rock-based podcast. Let's ruin our lives! Together, we will discuss very important issues such as music, comedy, pain, spiritual extortion, the importance of kindness and of love, freedom through ritual ecstasy, and the completely unbearable weight of authoritarian compliance. Please enjoy your show, subscribe, like, and comment below, and always remember that William Blake said, "I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's." Now have a good life. I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's. I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's. I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's. Let's ruin our lives.
Getting pissed at high tides, chewing up like cyanide. Please don't revive. Let's ruin our lives. Some pills in acid, nails in my casket. That sounds romantic. To just ruin our lives.
それじゃあビデオ見てもらいます。寝んなよ。
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Ruin Our Lives. I am Joshua Hensley in a bedroom in Phoenix, Arizona. Joining me today, the first ever stand-up comedian I will be talking to from New York City is stand-up comic Rebecca Kaplan. Good morning, Rebecca.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Let's just start easy here. Who are some of your favorite comedians?
Ooh, I love Emo Phillips.
I'm from Illinois, land of Lincoln. Lincoln and Darwin were born the exact same day, February 12th, 1809. Lincoln and Darwin, the two sworn enemies of the South. I like the South. Of course, I'm prejudiced.
I don't know if you...
I know the name. I don't think I've ever, he passed away, right?
No.
Oh. Oh, okay. I thought he was passed.
Maybe you're thinking of someone else, but
yeah.
No, Emo's like a really funny, like, one-liner
Oh,
and, like, absurdist.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, he does, like, amazing absurd comedy.
Oh, sort of like a Stephen Wright.
I think he, like, he's, like, more absurd than Stephen Wright.
Oh, okay.
Like, he has this, like, character he does that, like, you just sort of need to watch him. Like,
Yeah.
and also, I didn't realize this because, like, I grew up listening to his albums, but, like, if you watch his videos on YouTube, he's, like, also acting out, like, crazy things while he's doing the jokes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, he has, like, a bit where, like, he'll be doing his routine and just, like, while he's talking, he just, like, you know, will like take off his coat and like stuff it into his like pants pocket.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's been around for a while, right? I'm pretty sure I've heard a lot of comedians like sing his praises on podcasts.
I think he came up in like the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I've never checked him out. Okay, Emo Phillips. Anybody more like recent, I guess?
More recent.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Kaplan just released his special, which is really fun. I don't know if you.
I saw that you posted the story. Are you related?
Yeah, I just. No, well, not in the sense that, like, I think all American Jews are like at least fifth cousins.
Gotcha.
But not directly related.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And is he also based out of New York?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on. What about favorite musical genre?
I love musical theater.
Okay.
I mean, for non-musical stuff, I like, you know, old school rock, I guess.
Oh, okay. Right on. Are you into punk rock at all?
I've listened to the Dresden Dolls, which I think they describe themselves as like punk cabaret.
They do, yeah. But yeah, they were a great band. Girl Anachronism, that's a really great song. Amanda Palmer is just a really amazing musician all around. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, although admittedly, like maybe like a problematic person. I don't know if you read that
I just
article
found out.
about.
Yeah,
Well, granted, it's more her husband than her, I think.
Neil Gaiman, right? They're like accused of like human trafficking and like abusing their maid, I think.
I didn't hear about the human trafficking, but it was babysitter, not maid.
That's right.
But yeah,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the last person I would ever think would be cruel to another person, you know. But
I feel like these, you know, like when women get under the spell of like a man, it's like more, I don't know. Like I don't know what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell or Ghislaine Maxwell to make her do that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like men of such power like Neil Gaiman, definitely. Okay. Do you have like a favorite? Is the Dresden Dolls like your favorite band, or do you have like a favorite musician?
I don't know. My favorite band's probably like the Beatles.
Oh, nice. What album?
Sgt. Pepper.
Oh, nice. Very good. Classic for sure.
Sorry for bringing up human trafficking so early.
Oh, sorry. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just read an article about it. I forget the details though. What do you say to the people who say they don't like the Beatles? Do you believe them? Do you think that's even possible?
I know people who don't like the Beatles, and that's valid. Like, you know, music is completely subjective.
That's true. Good answer. Okay. When did you start stand-up comedy?
I did my like very first open mic like in college.
Okay.
And then I kind of started like a bit after that.
So how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I guess I like I've been doing stand-up like sort of consistently since like late 2018-ish.
Oh, okay. Nice. So, you know, I'm not a comedian, but I'm a huge fan of comedy, and I understand the whole like you have to do it for like 10 years in order to like get good at it or whatever. Do you think that is a true saying amongst comedians, or is it like person to person?
I think that it's not just like the amount of time. You have to actually be trying to get better.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, like if you're just doing the same material over and over again for 10 years, I don't like, unless that material started out good, I don't think you're gonna get like, I think it's like similar to every art form where like it's a combination of like natural ability that you were like born with or like got from like like your circumstances, and then a drive to get better. And I think like, it's completely like person to person, like how that combination plays out.
For sure. Where do you think your funniness comes from? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, no, I think like, like I don't want to throw around like the term autism spectrum too much, but I like it is like sort of, I mean, like, I guess like I see things mostly in a way that like I guess I'm told the majority of people don't.
Right, right. My son's
Uh,
autistic, so like I've learned a lot. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I understand that. Totally. I honestly think that I might be, ever since I learned so much about it. I'm actually supposed to do a presentation on autism on Thursday for my psychology class, and I'm completely unprepared. Um,
let's talk about it.
yeah, I mean, I wrote my thesis, which is about how the symptoms and the manifestations of autism, the so-called symptoms, are very misunderstood in society. Like how movies and TV have sort of put in the idea of like, Rain Man or like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. You know what I mean? Like Sheldon being sort of like the idiot savant, or I guess they sort of are, to use that term, or like somebody who's like completely catatonic and like can't stand touch or and has to be institutionalized. And I don't know what I know that you went to college. I'm going later in life. What advice could you give me for the presentation on autism along that thesis?
Oh boy, other than having that you should have started like last week.
I know. I should have started weeks ago.
Um, okay, so interesting. So it's not like you're doing it about like the presentation of autism in pop culture more so than
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you would call it that for sure. Yeah, like how people misinterpret autism and believe it to be something that's like a lot more like people look at it as like a tragedy on like a family's life. You know what I mean? Or they really look down on autistic people for their ways, as I'm sure you're used to. So or familiar
um
with. Sorry.
you're used to people looking down on you all the time. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
No, I think I feel like pop culture or like movies and TV tend to sort of like take like the extremes of things. Like it's almost like getting a caricature at like a peer,
Right.
It's
Definitely.
gonna like it's not that interesting to have a TV show where it's like this character has diagnosed autism spectrum disorder and her life is basically like your life except for like some very minor difficulties.
Right.
It's more interesting to be like this guy can't function and he like doesn't know how to shake hands or I don't know, like
Right.
like or like he has to reference like a chart before telling you if you're happy or like I don't know, like
Right.
but there is like also another conversation that's happening of like whether it's fair to lump in the different I think in like England they call it like level 1, level 2, level 3 autism.
They
But
do
basically
here
like the
too.
more
Yeah.
yeah, like the more extreme
Hmm.
versions where you're like maybe nonverbal,
Hmm.
maybe like whatever with like the more mild version, which used to be called Asperger's.
Right. Right. Yeah, my son is level 3. He's nonverbal. And honestly, like, j- I'll take him out like grocery shopping, and people like stare at us with like disgust. Like I've had to like yell at people to stop looking at us, and I just feel like it's something I really want to hit on in my presentation is that we need more education based around like acceptance of all people. You know what I mean? Like even in like social justice, like disabilities, whatever you want to call them, disorders are never ever brought up. I find, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so
Like you shouldn't have to have the pop culture idea that to be valid with
right,
level 3 autism, you have to have like a savant like skill.
right, totally, yeah. I 100% agree. And you never see any representation like that at all. The closest I've seen is like I think it's on that show Daniel Tiger. Do you know what that is? It's a cartoon that I think is somehow related to or based off of Mr. Rogers, but it's about Daniel Tiger. He's a tiger, and he has a friend who uses a AAC, speech assistive device, and he's not.
Oh, I just read about this show.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very wholesome. You know, that usually my son just binges out on Paw Patrol, and it drives me insane. So it's nice and calm. It's actually a cool kids show. But yeah, we don't have to harp too much on autism. I didn't know if I should bring it up or not because I've seen you on podcasts before. So if I actually do want to ask, are you more comfortable talking about it now than you were in the past?
I mean, I only got my diagnosis like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Before that, it was more like,
Oh, okay.
like basically what happened is when I was in middle school, well, actually my entire life, like, people had been telling my parents, like, your child should be taken for an Asperger's evaluation, and they weren't. And then in middle school, they finally took me for like the pre-evaluation.
Okay.
And like that evaluation said like, yeah, probably, but like you need to go to a specialist for the actual diagnosis.
Right.
And my parents chose not to take me to that because they thought that having the label would be not helpful.
Right. Yeah. Do you think they were also sort of like in denial?
I think there's like a thing that happens in families where everyone is sort of on the spectrum where they're like,
Yeah.
you don't have this, you just are like us.
Right.
And we don't have this.
For sure. For sure.
Like I grew up in a family where like, like there was like, social skills were very like, I was like 22 before I realized that it's like not okay to correct grammar at funerals,
that must have been quite the experience for sure. Yeah, I get that for sure.
But yeah, like anyway, so I mean I didn't like, I guess like I was like more like, this seems like ambiguous whether I have it or, and actually like a therapist told me that I like didn't have it. Like, I mean, I think part of this is like another like nuance, I guess, that like girls who have Asperger's, like the symptoms sort of disappear as you get older because you learn how to fit in. So from an outsider's perspective, they look at you and they're like, well, you're like normal with a little bit of like quirk.
Right. Do you think overall it's like easier, for lack of a better word, for women to mask autism?
But I think that...
Or is that just part of the whole female experience? Sorry to cut you off.
I don't think it's like necessarily easier. I think that maybe what happens is that girls are ostracized to a higher degree in childhood than boys are who don't fit in socially, so they try harder. Like I don't think there's like an innate thing like, oh, girls could learn this better. I think it's like for survival, girls like have to learn it as good as they can.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. What do you think about people who self-diagnose?
I feel like I don't have a problem with it as long as those people have like actually done the research.
Right, for sure.
The thing that I find annoying is like if you watched like 2 TikTok videos and you're like, okay, I'm autistic.
For sure.
And then you make it your whole personality.
It's sort of how I feel about the way people are claiming goth. It's like...
Claiming what?
Claiming goth. You know what I mean? Like, the whole trend of people being goth now, when I was goth and I got picked on for it, and it's like, you're not goth. Okay, well, thank you for your insight on that. And yeah, I really need to finish that presentation. I'm really nervous about it. So, okay. What inspired you to start stand-up comedy?
In college, I just like, like one of my friends there was like a stand-up comedy club, and one of my friends was like, oh, you're funny, you should try this.
Nice.
And then I did, and it was like, wow, what a rush, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
And then after college, I started getting stuff published, like writing, you know, because I always wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I got a few things published, and I got like almost no attention for it compared to how much effort it had taken to write it and then get it into a thing. And I was like, you know, I guess I was just sort of like thinking back to like the open mic and being like, you know, like that, like if you do stand up, you get that attention like every single set you do, good or bad, you know, like you just like there's like an immediacy to it that I think you don't get with like published
so
writing.
you like having that immediate feedback versus the sort of anonymity of being a writer.
Yeah, like I think it just wasn't satisfying enough, or like I don't have like the personality type where I can write for a year and then be content if it doesn't like, you know, take off or something.
I get that for sure. So did you do pretty well at your first open mic?
Yeah, like I don't think I would have stuck with stand up if I like wasn't like naturally a little bit good at it. I don't know.
No, you are very funny. I've seen you on podcasts before Pinky even said that you should come on, so I was like, hey, I know this person. You're very naturally funny.
Thank you.
When did you start doing roast battle?
I think I did my first one in like really late 2019.
Oh, okay. Do you enjoy that? Because you seem like such a nice person.
Nick's hairline is a lot like my will to live after the election, slowly receding.
Sorry to make assumptions here. Do you, where does that, like, because you're pretty eviscerating with your roast. So where does that cruelty come from?
I don't think that roast battles actually are cruel. Or like, let me put it another way. I think like roast battles are only cruel when the jokes aren't funny.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Like like, you know, like stuff that people have said to me in roast battles, like the only ones that like kind of sting are like, oh, you didn't like take the time to craft a joke. You just said like a mean statement to me. And it's like that, you know, like whatever. But I think it's like if people agreed to do it, and like, you know, we have conversations before and like, you know, if anything is like off limits or like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, to me, roast battles are not cruel. I mean, or they can be. Like, I think, like, that Dina Hashem thing about, like, you know, her roadside feature joke is...
Oh, yes. I remember that vaguely. Yeah, what? Oh, that's right. It was about... Oh, we don't need to go...
It was like...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
It was like so-and-so's mother was killed in a motorcycle accident on a highway, so she died the way that her son lives, as a featureless, like an anonymous, like, roadside feature.
That's right. I mean, that's hilarious. It's so mean, but it's so funny.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't be mad at that, because it's so funny.
It's so good. She's an amazing writer as well.
Yeah.
Are you still doing? Is Roast Battle still around, or wasn't Louis J. Gomez hosting it for a while and then it sort of went away, or is that something else?
I don't know the specific show that you're. Like, are you thinking of like the Roast Battle show that was on Comedy Central?
Maybe. I'm not sure actually.
It's the Comedy Central show is not happening anymore, but there's like the one that I do most is like Comedy Fight Club. They're on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. I heard about that.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm doing their winter tournament next month.
Oh, nice, very cool. How does that work out? Sort of like a bracket system, like
it's a bracket.
Nice, very cool. How often do you do stand up? You do it like every single night?
It's like pretty random. It'll be like, you know, sometimes it's like 3 shows a night. Sometimes it's like nothing all week.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that you're a very busy person. I mean, in addition to be a stand-up comedian, you're a writer, video editor, copywriter. You make graphics, right? And you work at critiques and tutoring, which I was like, wow, that's a lot. So very cool. And you work for Gas Digital on a few different podcasts, right?
Yeah, I'm not doing all of those things. Like right now I'm mostly just doing some freelance writing stuff, and I work for Gas Digital. But
very cool. How do you like working for Gas? Is it pretty hectic? Seems like it'd be a lot of fun. Or do you sort of like get like a lot of like, do you have to go into the studio, I guess is what I'm asking, or do you like get to work from home for them?
I personally do not go in that often, but I think most people, if you're working on like an actual, like if you're recording a show, people go in.
Right. Yeah, you're more you do like the post edit stuff, right? Post production and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I only go in when I'm like recording something for myself, or if like somebody needs to fill in for like a recording. But
okay, nice.
It's pretty chill. I'm like ever since I guess like since like 2019 or so, I've been like, I'm like really prioritizing work that I can do naked at home. Nice. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I hate
for sure.
I hate putting on clothes. I hate like leaving my apartment.
Yeah, I completely agree. Or I can relate to that for sure. That's funny. Well, that's. I
put on a shirt just for you.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to ask too much about Gas. They are like probably the biggest inspiration for what I'm trying to do with this podcast and like the other podcasts that we host on our network or whatever. Being somebody who works in that industry, is there anything you would like stress as important to pursue? Like I have a producer and he does all the like post edit stuff for the most part, but I make all the graphics for like 3 different podcasts, soon to be 4, and I produce a second one. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think is like most important when like doing a podcast?
For me, I think just differentiating yourself is more like that's just my take. Like I don't know if I have like a I think like coming up with like the brand of your podcast.
So like you mean like finding like the niche or like
yeah.
Okay.
The niche, and then even within that, like how do you visually brand yourself? Like like do you have a consistent like logo and color scheme?
Right.
Like if people like who have been following your podcast see one of your clips come up, is it immediately apparent that it's a clip from that podcast?
Right. Oh, okay.
That type of thing.
Okay. What about so obviously this is like a remote podcast. How do you think? And I'm sorry to pick your brain about this. Like the best way, because I find I try to highlight like the person that I'm talking to. You know what I mean? And so like the background is always different. What would be like a consistency I could add there other than like the logo at the bottom for like clips and stuff?
Having like captions like font and color, maybe the stuff like maybe having like the outro bumper.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, like I think stuff like that.
Okay, cool. I'm doing that, so that makes me feel better. So you have a podcast, the Bad Fanfic podcast that you do with 3 other ladies, right? Is that a newer podcast or?
We just started it this year.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna get season 2 up very soon.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. So it's all about dissecting like bad fan fiction,
Yeah, like we read through bad fan fiction and just kind of like riff on it and go on tangents.
Nice. Any specific like genre of literature, or like what is it? What is the fanfic usually about?
So season one, we just read through a like really, really long Harry Potter fan fiction called
Okay.
My Immortal. Season two, we're doing like one-offs. We actually like I'm like I got too excited about this, but like we have like an organic fan. And she sent us a list of like fan fictions that she like recommended for us to talk about in season two, and we've been going through that.
Oh, okay, nice. I like that idea. I don't think I've come across that before. What can I ask you? I remember like one of the first things I ever wrote as a kid was fan fiction about Boba Fett from Star Wars, and I just
Nice.
know it wasn't. I don't think it was very good. I think I just focused on like you know the speeders from Return of the Jedi, like the motorcycle looking things. I gave him one of those. What do you think makes bad fan fiction versus good fan fiction?
Um, I mean, I it's important to me that the fan fiction be like earnestly bad.
Hmm.
Like I think that it can't be like I think that when it's like somebody who's trying to be funny,
Yeah. Okay.
like it then it's like less. Cause like okay, like I have like stuff from when I was like 12 or like 10 or whatever where
Yeah.
I was trying to be funny and it's not good,
Yeah.
but it's like not good in a very different way than somebody who's like 10 or 12 and who's like trying to be serious.
Okay. Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So like satire versus someone who's just not a good writer.
I think that if you have some like I think across the board most people writing fan fiction are not like good writers yet because like most fan fiction is like written by children.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
It's almost like you know like good fan fiction is the exception to the norm. But like for the podcast like that we were doing, I was like looking for stuff that was like earnestly bad.
Okay.
Like bad in an earnest way. Not somebody who's trying to be funny and it came out bad.
Oh.
Like if
Okay. When you say, I guess I'm getting hung up on the word earnest. Do you mean like genuinely bad, or like they're being bad? What do you mean by earnest? I guess because when I think earnest, I think like honest.
I think like somebody trying to write serious like a serious work.
Yeah, and it just sort of flops.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay.
I think bad attempts at humor are like they're cringe but in
Yeah.
a different way. Like or like, you know, it's harder to like
Yeah.
make fun of somebody who's like trying to be funny.
Right. Well, would that be like the equivalent of like hack in comedy?
Not exactly, because I think like most hack things like they're at least like you know following a structure or something,
Right.
and like I think like most like bad fan fiction attempts like okay I guess like bad bad fan fiction comedy like okay like there was like a Barney the dinosaur fic that we read that I thought was like trying to be funny and failing,
Yeah.
but to me like the difference is like you could tell that like they meant what they wrote as a joke and that joke wasn't funny,
Right.
but like you know it's not like they wrote like it was like I think it was called like I Love You Barney or something, and it was
Okay.
supposed to be like a first person POV where you're going on like a hot steamy date with Barney.
Oh.
And it's like they wrote it intending to be ridiculous.
Right.
So like there's already a lot of like the humor is like gone in
Right.
terms of like if you're looking for something that's so ridiculously bad that you can like riff on it.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I understand. Okay. Sort of like to relate it to film, like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Or like even like I guess Zach Amico's Spook Show, like something so bad that it's so easy, it's fun at a point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're looking for stuff that's like unintentionally bad, whereas I think like fan fiction that was starting out as an attempt at humor is like kind of often intending to be dumb.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. When I think of fan fiction, I always think somebody's like trying to pay homage to, you know, whatever series. So that's interesting to hear. Have you ever come across a piece that like you thought was going to be bad but turned out to be pretty good?
Yeah, like I mean, like I read fan fiction a lot growing up, and like
me too. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, like so people would be like I had a friend who like turned me on to all of these like weird, like I guess like one of her like obsessions was like strange Harry Potter pairings.
Okay.
So like one of them was like it was like Harry/Snape. And the concept was that Harry went back in time to when Snape was his age, and then they like had an illicit romance, and it was actually like written like extremely well.
Interesting. They had a romance? Oh, interesting. Is that sort of to like fly in the face of J.K. Rowling? Or
this was like, you know, like probably like the 2000, like it was probably written in the early 2000s, you know, like it wasn't. Yeah, people have been writing gay Harry Potter fan fiction since long before.
No. Yeah.
Also, I don't think that J.K. Rowling is anti-gay.
Right, just trans, I guess.
Just trans, or she's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Okay, who are some of your favorite authors?
I love Roald Dahl.
Oh, nice. Roald Dahl. Please
remind James Beach.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. What else did he write? He didn't do the Jungle Book. That's Kipling, right? That's Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also love Kipling.
Yeah, Kipling's great. Roald Dahl. Okay. James in the. What else did Dahl write?
I think like the most well-known things he did were like. Well, okay, I probably like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is like the most well-known.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that book as dark as the original movie?
Probably darker.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess spoiler alert for anybody listening, is Wonka actually killing the kids?
They don't get into that. Like the kids are just disappearing. I don't think it's intended that he's killing them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, Roald Dahl's books are pretty dark. Like, I don't know if you read The Witches.
No.
A spoiler alert for anybody who like hasn't read that, but like it kind of ends with like a little boy gets turned into a mouse, and then they're like, you now have the natural lifespan of a mouse, so you're gonna die in like a couple of years. But then he's like, that's perfect because my like mother figure is my grandmother, and so we'll die at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And that's just how it ends. And he never gets turned back into a little boy.
That is dark. I don't know what. Did you read the Animaniacs growing up? Or not the Animaniacs? Sorry, the Animorphs.
You mean Animorphs?
Animorphs. Yeah.
I don't recall. Like I was like really, really super young when I read Animorphs, and I don't remember that much of it, except for like I remember viscerally reading like Tobias learning that he's not gonna get turned back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like,
Okay, let's see what this is about. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then didn't it end with like them all basically dying or like whatever, or somebody died. Like, did Jake die?
I don't remember. I read so many in fourth grade, and then I sort of stopped. I think between fifth and sixth grade. I don't remember. I didn't get to read the whole series, but yeah, it was heartbreaking how Tobias gets stuck as a hawk forever, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then one of them for sure died. I don't remember which one, but
He's the only character I really remember. I remember he had a crush on one of the girls, and he couldn't like tell her because he was a hawk.
yeah, like he had a crush on Rachel.
That's right, Rachel. Yeah, that's right. So are you sort of into like more macabre stuff? I think I am. You know what I mean? You can tell, right? But do you find appreciation in like sort of dark media or art?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a light-hearted comedy girl at heart, but I do like, I guess as long as it's like well written, I can get behind anything.
Oh, okay, nice. I like that approach. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on jazz?
I like jazz. I don't feel like I understand it deeply. Why do you like? I'm just curious.
I just like to ask people that question because I like certain jazz musicians, but overall as a genre, I kind of find it like a bit irritating. But I'm also aware that there are many different types of jazz. You know what I mean? Like obviously Coltrane is amazing, Django Reinhardt, other jazz musicians that I can't think of right now. So I just feel like jazz really stands out as a musical genre because it's like the deconstruction of Western music. You know, and so it's obviously set apart from any other genre, and so I just like to hear people's thoughts on it. Really, I mean, you're in New York, you must be surrounded by jazz. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I see jazz pretty often.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess like I just saw the Preservation Jazz Hall band at in New Orleans.
Okay, yeah.
They were really good. I think it's like, you can't, it's like to me when people are like, oh, what type of music do you like? Or like whatever. It's like, I don't know. I like music that's like good and to my taste. And I think like genres are helpful to a degree, but like within any genre, there's like gonna be bad art or like art that's not to your liking.
Very true, yeah.
So like, yeah, like, I mean, if you say like for example, like if you're like, oh, do you like emo music? It's like you've got like Green Day in that category who's like, I think pretty good. And then or like, however you feel, like whatever band your favorite band of that category is. But then you've also got like, I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with it to know like who the bad examples are. But like Good Charlotte, do we not like Good Charlotte?
I don't like Good Charlotte, no. That's more like pop punk emo. Like the original emo would be like Fugazi. They're considered very often to be like the first emo band. Emo actually comes from hardcore punk rock music. Emo stands for emotional hardcore, and then it sort of like became how people think of it now as sort of like a more like nasally voice, maybe like a My Chemical Romance or like what are they called? You know what I mean? Like the stuff that was really popular in like the early 2000s on the radio. I get what you're saying. That's how I feel about like country music. Like the original country music, like the outlaw country, that stuff is so good. Whereas today you have what's basically just pop pretending to be country. Yeah. What? How do you feel about pop music as a concept?
I guess like pop at its like most basic core is just music that is currently popular. Right? Like there was a time when like the Beatles was pop.
Right, for sure.
There was a time when music currently playing on Broadway was pop. Right. So, I mean, I think it's like, okay, like I think it gives us sort of like a common cultural dialogue.
Okay. Do you think that's important for society?
Yeah, I think it, I mean, in terms of like shared references,
right?
I think like, it used to be that like everyone was like familiar with like the Bible and Shakespeare, and that's not true anymore.
That's for sure.
But like, I feel like now everyone is at least to some degree kind of familiar with like Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
Right. Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, let me ask you this then. What do you, and this is, I'm shifting gears, sorry. What do you consider to be like the purpose of a comedian? I kind of feel like George Carlin, Bill Hicks, the more like socially conscious comedians have kind of put this idea into like pop culture, into the mainstream mindset, that a comedian is supposed to be a reflection of society, that they're supposed to talk about politics or whatever, and sort of be like modern day philosophers. I don't agree with that. I think a comedian can be anything they want as long as they're funny. What do you is that something that you like have encountered from people, like before or after you do your sets, or you know what I mean, like what do you think about that?
Oh, that people like like that people come at me thinking like you should be politically conscious or something like that.
or just like if you've noticed amongst like the comedy scene or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think people I think people who think that seem kind of pretentious to me, but I guess I haven't encountered somebody like saying it. The closest I think that I've like come to that is like people have told me like, don't talk about dating and sex in your stand-up because like people won't take you seriously. It's like everybody does that, and like I don't know, to me that's like the same thing as saying like I don't like jazz. Like I bet there's some jazz that you would like if you gave it a chance.
For sure.
Like I mean, yeah, I think like I just think that like anything that's like well written and to an individual person's taste is like valid,
For sure. I totally agree. Sort of going back to autism, if you don't mind, I noticed that you on your clips on Instagram, you're like referencing it or whatever. Do you feel, I guess because when you were describing like when you first did your open mic, it sounded like sort of like a cathartic experience for you doing comedy, right? Getting that immediate feedback. Do you feel that like autism, how do I say this, like I guess I'll use my son for instance, or for example, like he's all about the moment, you know what I mean? He lives 100% in the moment. He's not thinking about the future. He's not dwelling on the past, you know what I mean? Which is beautiful. He's a little destructive angel. I say destructive because he loves destroying everything that I own. But do you think that and not to lump it all together, obviously, I'm just speaking generally, do you think the autistic mindset sort of lends itself to the immediate art, like to performance art? Or I don't know, what do you think about that?
It's an interesting question. To me, it's almost more like an ADHD thing.
He's also ADHD, so. Okay, yeah.
I think that there's like a lot of overlap between, like, okay, I guess I'm not like you said you're in school to do like psychiatry. I'm not. Yeah. I want to be clear, like I'm not a psychiatrist. I think that like almost like I understand the importance of having labels for some degrees,
right,
of things, and then for others, I'm like, there's so much overlap between these categories. Like, does it even make sense that we're separating them in these particular ways?
Right. I get that, yeah.
Right, like what is like the difference between like where ADHD ends and where autism begins?
Totally, yeah. They share so many similar traits. That's true. That's a good point. So like,
but yeah, I think I think like the need for immediate gratification probably is more in the like, ADHD umbrella than
Okay.
autism.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I can agree with that. I sort of get like when people say like we're all a little autistic. I kind of find that like insulting to like the autistic experience. You know what I mean? But like sort of like what you're saying, like consciousness. Like honestly, before my son's diagnosis, before my son was born, I was pretty heavily into like psychedelics and considering myself like a spiritually enlightened person, a pretentious asshole, if you will. And so I sort of, to be just frank, I thought I had sort of like consciousness all figured out, which is how arrogant of me, right? And then my son got his diagnosis when he was 3, so about 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, I don't really, I know nothing. There's an infinite amount of ways that existence can be experienced through consciousness, right? So like you're saying, how can we just put these categories on certain type of behaviors and say that this is a disorder and this is normal, right? When you got your diagnosis, did you feel like relief? Were you sort of like, oh, like this makes sense, or?
I don't know. I sort of like what like I think that the like official diagnosis is most helpful if you're either eligible for social services,
Yeah,
like SSI
Right.
or something, or just if you're looking for like some type of framework within which to understand yourself and like targeted tools to help
Totally.
you get better. And I guess to me, like I kind of think that if you're sort of like in the borderline thing where like it's hard to tell whether you're like a quote neurotypical person who's like a bit quirky, or you're like
Right.
on the most, I don't like the term high functioning, but like let's
Right.
say on the most high functioning end of like the like level 1 autism spectrum. I think that like you don't necessarily like need the official diagnosis to just like look at those frameworks and be like, okay, like this seems like a good tool for me to try.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's genuinely good advice. Okay. Wh-
Yeah,
well,
like you don't need permission to like to be like, I identify with these things and I'm going to try these like frameworks that people use to try to like function with this.
for sure, absolutely. Um, yeah, total freedom of consciousness, and exploration of consciousness. We'll wrap up soon here in about 10 minutes, and thank you again so much for coming on. I'm having a good time. I hope you are.
Yeah.
So I looked at some of your writings. Can you explain what love tokens are? And I found that
Yeah, well,
whole thing pretty amusing that you wrote.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love tokens are like an old-fashioned thing where you would like, I guess like they're also called memento mori.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So you would maybe give your loved one like a lock of your hair
Hmm.
so that they would have like a piece of you to carry with them. Which
Yeah.
I think is like a sweet idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was at like the Philadelphia Museum of Art and I like saw like they get all these like miniature portraits of eyes that were like like meant to be given as love tokens, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like kind of obsessed with that because I do feel like that is like such a sweet. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because my cat's acting up, but
No problem.
I think like like it's just so sweet to me that like to think that like just 300 years ago like men would be like, could I have a miniature portrait of your eye
Huh.
to carry in my like pocket, and nowadays men are like, could I get like a nude like a nude
Yeah.
photo?
That's a good point. Wait, so like just the eye? Just like a really?
Mhm.
That is oddly romantic. Yeah, I'd never considered that. So the one that you wrote, that one baby tooth with the cavity filling that I hid from the tooth fairy. What was your intention with hiding it from the tooth fairy?
I don't know. I guess like, I was like just old enough to be like I want to like test whether like the tooth fairy is gonna like I don't know. I mean, I was like just sort of
Like, you're holding out on me. I want that. I want that too.
or I was kind of like, I think like it was my like last baby tooth and I was like I kind of want to keep this.
Right.
And it actually like fell apart, which I wasn't expecting, and it's kind of gross. I think I might have thrown it away eventually, or like if I saved it, then it's gonna be like a horror thing that they like if I ever if police ever search my room.
Right. Hopefully your dental records are available. Okay, well, let's just rush through these last questions. I am interested. Are you a spiritual person?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Were you raised religiously?
I was raised in like Reformed Judaism.
Okay.
Which is like, it's almost like if Buddhism was like a book religion.
Oh, okay. So Reformed, so obviously not Orthodox, right? Obviously not Hasidic. Is that just more like, is that sort of like, and I'm not trying to be insulting, like the way like Christians will like, they'll go to church on Sunday and then like, that's pretty much it? Or is it more like, well, you mentioned Buddhism and that's such a like a routine sort of based religion, right?
It's kind of like, I guess everybody practices it like a slightly different way. The way that like my temple practiced it is like we teach the moral like lessons, which I think like Judaism has more chill moral lessons compared to Christianity.
Yeah.
Like Judaism is very open to questioning everything, and it's more about how you treat other people in like because it's not focused at all on the afterlife.
Right.
It's like focused on how can you treat people and yourself the best way while you're still alive and they're still alive.
For sure. There is no afterlife in Judaism, right?
I think it's like unclear.
Oh, okay.
There's no like official like answer.
Oh, okay. There's like Sheol, right? Like the place where souls linger or something like that? Or maybe I just made that up.
I'm not sure about that one. But,
yeah, I think it's like pre-purgatory or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, that's cool. Islam is sort of the same way, right? Like focus like super open to questioning, which is something that I really admire in both Judaism and Islam, whereas Christianity unfortunately is all of this strict rigid set of rules.
Yeah.
What do you think happens after death?
I mean, who knows,
Yeah, for sure. Good answer. Okay, can you define E equals MC squared?
I think it's I don't know like the exact
or yeah, just however you want to answer. Yeah.
It's like whatever the Einstein equation that gives us the theory of relativity.
Yes, precisely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, meaning that energy and mass are basically equivalent and they can be converted into one another. Something like that. I had to Google it last night. You're the first person I've asked, so thanks. And my final question for you, Rebecca Kaplan, stand-up comedian, wildly talented person. Would you rather attend Burning Man or the Gathering of the Juggalos?
I'm curious about attending Burning Man, although, I mean, I don't really know what the Juggalo thing is too much, but...
Oh, okay. The Insane Clown Posse, like, rap, I guess, like, white people rap, I guess, and clown makeup. Very, like, blue-collar, sort of, like, I guess, I don't know, again, not to be insulting, people from like the lowest rungs of society sort of coming together and just being as debaucherous as possible.
Yeah, I guess I'd be more interested in going to Burning Man.
Okay, right on.
But I'm gonna be honest, there's there's like a slur for Black people that sounds like kind of similar to Juggalo. And when I first heard like that term, I conflated it in my mind, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I can see being turned off by that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you know what slur I'm talking about.
I do, yeah. I'm not going to say it, but yeah.
No, I also won't say it.
That's pretty funny, actually. Do you like electronic dance music?
I'm not too familiar with it, but like I said earlier, I am open to exploring it.
Nice. Are you a big dancer?
No. I mean, you know, I'll dance, but I'm not like that good at it.
For sure.
I think like the one EDM thing that I'm familiar with is like, I think it's called like psychotic mushroom.
Okay, infected mushroom, psychotic.
Infected mushroom.
Infected mushroom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they are good. Right on. Nice. Awesome. Okay. Well, it's been great getting to know you. You're a very interesting person. Very funny. Do you want people? This won't come out till like mid-January. Is there anything you want to like plug or where people can find you on social media?
Yeah, come find me. I'm on all social media at Rebecca T. Kaplan. Rebecca, like the Hitchcock film spelling, Kaplan, like the SAT test prep company, T, like the letter T.
Hopefully my audience knows what those are.
REBECCATKAPLN. But yeah, I'm on like Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, just everything except I guess Snapchat. But yeah, and you can listen to Bad Fanfic podcast.
Nice, perfect. Okay, well everybody, this is Let's Ruin Our Lives. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody who does, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. I have a child to think about, and from my heart to yours, mahalo.
I know, but I'd rather be blind in heaven than sighted in hell.
Guess it really isn't sin. There's a better way to get your super bug. Don't read no magazine or some super bug. You care about what people think because you're insecure. You don't know your heart, it's your own, and not too sure. Take some words of wisdom, some plain and simple advice. And be the to live that sure be nice. Start